Holy smokes, that was quick. All right. Hey there. How are you doing? My name is Angel, and I like all things that are mysterious. And we are actually going to talk about Jack Ruby, which is why I'm sharing my screen with you. I figured I finally found something that's working for me. So that's insane. That's the quickest I've ever got a notification for a live stream before. So, anyways, we're going to get right into it. I wrote down all the topics so I stay on track. The very first one was, who was Jack Ruby really? So me. I was like, hey, I already kind of set everything up. I was kind of bored earlier, so I kind of wanted to make everything smoother on myself later, which is where we are. So this man right here is Jack Ruby. Here's some more pictures of him. Here's some more pictures of him. Let's look at more pictures of him. Get a real good idea of what he looks like. Yeah, see, this is him too. And this is him. Let's see. Oh, perfect. It looks just like I would. Wonderful. I just wanted to check. I've had so many issues trying different stuff. So, anyways, okay, right here. No, but no more. You've taken too long. So, anyways, hey, I said stop. Stop. What is it doing? I've had so many issues. I'm not even surprised right now. I'm like, oh, it was working so good earlier, flawlessly. Now I'm gonna start having issues. Well, so anyways, this is Jack Ruby. He was born March 25th, 1911 in Chicago. Hey, right, my neighbor, sort of. And he died January 3rd, 1967 in Dallas, Texas. So, holy smokes, I'm not looking at the overview. We're going deep. That is amazing. That is better than no. Never mind. I keep checking the stream. I'm paranoid. I don't understand. Probably because I'm screen recording. Oh, we're never gonna learn who Jack Ruby was. Fun as if I can't talk shit about myself. I don't understand. So, anyways, why we went on this? I had never heard of Jack Ruby before. I was actually in the middle of a live stream, and Ben suggested to me. I'm sorry, Ben, I don't remember your last name, but you know who you are, and you know that you suggest this topic for me, which is why I'm doing this topic. Um, he just asked me if I knew what happened in Dallas, Texas in 1963, and I was like, 1963 doesn't sound familiar. And I Googled it, and then shame on me because I should have known. Because I'm a huge conspiracy theorist, and I don't think that the JFK story that we've been told is the true story. What is this? Why is it? I don't care about this. Close this. Is this why it's taking so freaking long to load? I don't understand. Come on, we're never going to get through all this if you don't. I don't know. It's got to be because I'm starting the recording. Well, at least I'm happy I plugged it in. I'd probably be dead right now. I don't understand. How are we going to do something? By a mistake. This is bringing me back to when I first saw it was. So, Leon Ruby, born Jacob Rubenstein, on days after Oswald, he was days after Kennedy was assaulted in Dallas police headquarters and was immediately arrested. That right? Ruby shot and mortally was immediately arrested at police headquarters. Why? How did he get out? The shooting happened. Ruby was convicted and sentenced to death. He was overturned on appeal, and he was granted a new trial. But Ruby fell ill and was diagnosed with cancer and died of a pulmonary embolism on January 3rd, 1963. In 1964, the Warren Commission concluded that Ruby acted alone in killing Oswald, that Ruby shot Oswald on impulse and in retaliation for the Kennedy assassination. The Commission's findings have been supported by some writers, but also challenged by various critics who hypothesized that Ruby was a part of a conspiracy surrounding the Kennedy assassination. I wonder what that part was. I guess we'll get into it. Oh, wow, this even tells you where his rest. It has you the coordinates to where his grave is. That's insane. Wait, shut up. Maps, aerial photos, and other data for this location. Shut up. Shut up. I don't understand. We're getting very sophisticated here. Meticulous, you can even say. So, anyways, early life. Ruby was born Jacob Leon Rubenstein, or Stein. I haven't really figured it out yet. On or around March 15th, 1911, in Maxwell Street area of Chicago. The son of Joseph Rubenstein and Fanny, weird, I have a horrible time with names. Turek Rutkowski or Rokowski. You know I said that wrong. You guys know I did. Both. We're gonna start doing like a bingo. How many times I can say something wrong and apologize for it. It's gonna become a thing. So, anyways, I gotta make sure I'm not putting this on mute. I keep playing with it. Anyways, both Polish-born Orthodox Jews. Ruby was the fifth of his parents' 10 surviving children. Wait a minute. So how many kids did they have? I'm going to get completely sidetracked because why would it say that Ruby was the fifth of his parents' 10 surviving children? Well, how many did they have in total and how many died? I need to know. I don't want to go looking into it. It's going to be too much work. Anyways, no, it's not. I can look it up on my phone. That won't be too much work. Now I can find out why. You guys know I have issues. Okay, so Jack Ruby. How many siblings did he have? Oh, okay, so he had 8. So 2 died? According to most sources, Jack Ruby had 8 siblings, but here it says 10 surviving children. I knew there was something going on here. It says explanation. Information from the Warren Commission report states that Ruby had 1 older brother and 3 older sisters, along with 2 younger brothers and a younger sister. Names. So key points about Jack Ruby's siblings. Some of his siblings were named Eva Grant, Sam Ruby, and Eileen Comiskey. It says large family. Ruby came from a large family with a total of 10 children, including those who may have died in infancy. Gotcha. We got it. Okay. I got it now. I was kind of wondering. Oh, no. It says, in fact, lots of them. Ruby and his 8 siblings moved repeatedly. Children of an alcoholic father and a mother they remembered as domineering and angry. I understand that. I grew up kind of like that, too. So anyways, while he was growing up, his parents were often violent towards each other and frequently separated. Delta Flight has incident. Oh, no, I get into it. We're not. We tried doing a recent plane crashes live stream last night, and it kept crashing. I got so frustrated. But anyways, which is how we ended up here. This wonderful free streaming service. I'm just couldn't be happier. Anyways, they can go ahead and sponsor me. I will brag about them all day. This has been so easy to use, flawless even. Anyways, while he was growing up, his parents were often violent towards each other and frequently separated. Oh, we read more about his parents too. Ruby's mother was eventually committed to a mental hospital. His troubled childhood and adolescence were marked by juvenile delinquency, with time being spent in foster homes. He was arrested at the age of 11 for truancy. Ruby eventually skipped school so often that he had to spend time at the Institute for Juvenile Research. He sold horse racing tip sheets and various novelties, then acted as a business agent for a refuge collectors union that later became part of the International Brotherhood of Teamsters. From his early childhood, Ruby was nicknamed Sparky by those who knew him. I wonder why they called him Sparky. I bet you, is he going to get into it? Maybe. His sister Eva Grant said that, we heard about her too. We kind of learned about his siblings. His sister Eva Grant said that he acquired the nickname because he resembled a slow-moving horse named Sparkplug or Sparky. That's a lame reason to give somebody a nickname. Anyways, I think maybe he played with electricity, to be honest with you. In the contemporary comic strip Barney Google. I don't know what that is either. Oh, there's pictures. Oh, okay, it's apparently a comic strip. Sparkplug debuted as a character in the strip in 1922. Other accounts said that the name was given because of his quick. Oh, I could see that too, especially because he grew up with abusive parents. I get it. It says Grant stated that Ruby did not like the nickname and was quick to fight anyone who called him that. In the 1940s, Ruby frequented racetracks in Illinois and California. He was drafted. Look at the picture they have for drafted. Can't. He was drafted in 1943 and served in the U.S. Army Forces. Okay, during World War II. Oh, I like that picture. This is fun. So, anyways, you know what? Fun fact. My maternal grandfather he served in World War II as well. I don't remember what he did, but he did get the 21 gun salute at his funeral. I remember that. I was 6. So, anyways, working as an aircraft mechanic at U.S. bases until 1946. He had an honorable record and was promoted to private first class. Upon discharge in 1946, Ruby returned to Chicago. In 1947, Ruby moved to Dallas. I really like that feature. This just makes it more interesting. Purportedly because of the failure of merchandise deals in Chicago and to help operate his sister's nightclub. Soon afterward, he and his brother shortened their surnames from Rubenstein to Ruby. Oh, okay. I was wondering where that came from. But anyways, the stated reason for the name change was that the name Rubenstein was too long and that he was well known as Jack Ruby. Ruby later went on to manage various nightclubs, strip clubs. What? Why is there a stretch Hummer? Anyways, and dance halls in Dallas. He developed close ties to many Dallas police officers. Nightclubs, where he provided them with free liquor, prostitutes, and other favors. I couldn't make this up, dude. This is taking a whole different route than I thought. This man is very colorful, man. I shouldn't say colorful. He's had a colorful history, let's say. Ruby never married and had no children. Well, he didn't have time. Do you see what he was doing? At the time of his assassination, Ruby was living with George Senator, who referred to Ruby as my boyfriend during the Warren Commission hearing, although he denied the two were homosexual lovers. Warren Commission lawyer Bert Griffin later told author Gerald Posner, oh, it's this guy. I really like this so much. This is so much better than what I could have done, even with my overlays. This is so much better. Anyways, I'm sorry, guys. With Ruby, people did not advertise their homosexuality in 1963. Facts. Anyways, illegal activities. Some critics have said, you know what? Hold on. Let's go back. I covered a case. Who was it? I gotta go look. I gotta do the cheat because it was a while ago. I don't remember her name. I'm really bad with names. I'm sorry. Can't do anything about it. Who was that? That was really a long time ago. But she was also a homosexual and was hiding it from her friends and family. And she was murdered right outside her house, outside of her house. See, I remember the stories. I don't remember names. was her name? I didn't think it was that long ago. Kitty Genovese. No, I wouldn't have remembered her name. Kitty Genovese had a girlfriend, and they lived together. And Kitty had came home, parked her car. They didn't have like a good parking area. I kind of went over a lot in the video. I like showed the area and stuff with what pictures I could find or whatever. And she was killed. She was stabbed right out in front of the house. I'm trying to remember. I do believe she was raped as well. Maybe she was only stabbed. I can't remember that part. But I do remember that he had cornered her in the hallway that was like, to the stairs that go up to her apartment. Like she was that close. Like there was a loud commotion. There was neighbors that heard it. They came out. They called the cops. The girlfriend was home. It was a really sad story. Anyways, Kitty Genovese, I did cover her story a long time ago. How many years ago was that? 2 years ago. I feel like it was longer than that. But anyways, if you guys want to know more about that. But she hid it from everybody. Nobody knew until after she died. And the girlfriend was very kind of hush-hush about it too. She said that was her friend. But anyways, because it was looked down upon. I don't care what people do in their privacy of their own homes. Just don't try to push your religion on me, your beliefs on me. Like, you can be gay over there. I'm cool with that. One of my good friends from when I was a kid was gay. No issues with that. Be gay over there. I'm not. I will go to I will go to a what do they call the office? What is that? Like a bar? A nightclub? I don't know. But they have drag queens in there. They give really good shows. I'm pretty sure that on this channel, I do believe maybe it was this channel. Or maybe it was my old channel. It might have been my old channel. But I have a drag queen show. I went to it and I recorded it and I uploaded it. I think it was on my other channel though. Anyways, illegal activities. Some critics have said that Ruby was involved in illegal activity such as gambling, narcotics, and prostitution. An FBI report in 1956 stated that informant Elaine Curry had moved to Dallas with her boyfriend James Breen after jumping bail on narcotics charges. Breen told her that he had made connections with a large narcotics setup operating between Texas, Mexico, and the East, and that James got the okay to operate through Ruby of Dallas. Dallas County Sheriff Steve told the FBI that he believed that Ruby operated some prostitution activities and other vices out of his club in Dallas. I can't. Anyways, Dallas disc jockey Kenneth Doe testified that Ruby was known around the station for procuring women for different people who came to town. I can't. I did not see this coming. Like I said, I really didn't look too much into it. I didn't want to on purpose. I read like the little brief synopses of stuff about him. I wanted to be shocked. I am. So anyways. Oh shoot, hold on, let me go check. I don't think anybody's got, you know what, let me pull the stream up on my phone so I can keep track of my my chat. I think it plays a noise. I don't know. I think I clicked it. I don't know. It's all new to me. I'm still learning. But anyway, and I'm having a great time with this one, by the way. Anyways, from 1949 up until the murder of Oswald, Ruby had 9 criminal charges, ranging from assault to violating state liquor law. And his character, according to people interviewed by law enforcement and the Warren Commission, I need to look into this Warren Commission next. Ruby was desperate to attract attention to himself and his club. He knew a great number of people in Dallas, but had only a few friends. Because his business ventures were unsuccessful, he was heavily in debt. The commission received reports of Ruby's penchant for violence. He had a volatile temper, and he often resorted to violence with employees who had upset him. He acted as a bouncer of his own club and beat his customers on at least 25 occasions. I didn't expect that either, but I guess if he's got a temper, yeah, I could see that. The fights would often end with Ruby throwing his victims down the club's stairs. In one fight with a man, the man bit Ruby's left index finger so badly that the doctors had to amputate it. He bit the man's index finger. You know, I remember a very famous story of somebody biting somebody. Anyways, stories of Ruby's eccentric and unstable behavior describe him as sometimes taking his shirt or other clothes off in social gatherings, and either hitting his chest like a gorilla or rolling around on the floor. During conversations, he would change the topic suddenly in mid-sentence. He sometimes welcomed a guest to his club, but on other nights he would forbid the same guest from entering. He was described by those who knew him as a kook. Totally unpredictable, a psycho, and suffering from some form of disturbance. Well, I can see that too. During the 1970s, prominent psychiatrist Irene Jacob, that's her, who was known for her use of art therapy in diagnosing and treating patients with mental illness, analyzed artwork that had been created by Ruby while he was in jail. While assessing one of Ruby's drawings, which had been included as part of art exhibits as the World Congress of Psychiatry meeting in Waikiki. Ooh, it is. That's beautiful. Yep. Hawaii. And the University of Hawaii in late August and early September 1977. She claimed that his work conveyed repressed aggression and secretiveness. If you talk too much, this man may die. Okay. Adding, notice how he really constricts himself so as to not reveal himself. He hides behind all those geometrical lines and pointed edges. You can feel his controlled aggression. Ooh, here we go. We're getting somewhere. And this in no way is my John F. Kennedy assassination video. We are dabbling in this image, but I'm going to do a whole deep dive into that as well because it's going to be a little while. I'm waiting for them to release the documents. I'm waiting to hear stuff. But anyways, John F. Kennedy assassination. November 21st. The Warren Commission attempted to reconstruct Ruby's movements from November 21st, 1963 through November 24th. The commission reported that he was attending to his duties as a proprietor of the Carousel Club located at 1312 and a half Commerce Street in downtown Dallas. Oh, these are really good pictures too. And the Vegas Club in the city's Oak Lawn district. Oh, I can't see it. Ah, go back, go back. Oh, there's a trolley. I love trolleys. We have a trolley here too. From the afternoon of November 21st to the early hours of November 22nd, a number of Dallas police officers were meeting in the office of Assistant District Attorney Ben Ellis when Ruby entered and passed out business cards advertising a gig by Jada, a stripper at the carousel. Reportedly, Ruby introduced himself to Ellis and added, "You probably don't know me now, but you will." November 22nd, the assassination of Kennedy. According to the Warren Commission on November 22nd, Ruby was in the second floor advertising offices of the Dallas Morning News, 5 blocks away from the Texas School Book Depository. You know, every time I think about this book depository, I think of that episode of South Park. I'm not going to lie. Placing weekly advertisements for his nightclubs when he learned of the assassination around 12:45 p.m. According to witnesses, Ruby was visibly shaken. Ruby then made phone calls to his assistant at the Carousel Club and to his sister. The commission stated that an employee of the Dallas Morning News estimated that Ruby left the newspaper's office at 1:30 p.m., but indicated that other testimony suggested that he had left earlier. According... In or out, buddy? That was exciting. Okay, let's see. Where did I leave off? According to the Warren Commission, Ruby arrived back at the Carousel Club shortly before 1:45 p.m. to notify employees that the club would be closed that evening. John Noonan, an employee at the newspaper's advertisement department, became upset over an anti-Kennedy ad published in the morning news that was signed by the American Fact-Finding Committee, Bernard Wiseman chairman. Ruby was sensitive to anti-Semitism and was distressed that an ad attacking the president was signed by a person with a Jewish name. Earlier the next morning, Ruby noticed a political billboard featuring the text "Impeach Earl Warren" in black letters. I don't know who any of these people are. Ruby's sister Eva testified that Ruby had told her that he believed that the anti-Kennedy ad and the anti-Warren sign were connected and were a plot by a Gentile to blame the assassination on the Jews. I never heard it was the Jews. I always heard it was Oswald. There we go. Oh, look at that cool building. Oh, I'm such a sucker for buildings. But anyways, Ruby was seen in the halls of the Dallas Police Headquarters. I really like that. On several occasions after Oswald's arrest for the murder of Dallas policeman J.D. Tippit. Aww. He was present at an arraigned press conference with Oswald. So wait. Oswald killed a policeman and supposedly Kennedy too. He was present at an arraigned press conference with Oswald. Ruby later told the FBI that he had his .38 Colt Cobra. Oh, it's a cute little gun. No, I didn't mean to. No, stop. I didn't mean it. Okay. Revolver in his right pocket during the press conference. It was all going so well. It went all the way to the top again. All because I accidentally clicked and I didn't mean to. Well, anyways. Oh, at least it brought me back, I think. Oh, yep, it sure did. His Colt Cobra revolver pocket during the press conference. A TV Dallas. I want to say there's a picture. I know I asked it, but I'm sorry. I really like what we had going on. It was really great. I was having a good time. And then I effed off. Ah, here we go. And NBC shows that Ruby impersonated a newspaper reporter during a press conference held by District Attorney Henry Wade, no picture, at Dallas Police Headquarters that night. Wade briefed reporters that Oswald was a member of the anti-Castro Free Cuba Committee. No picture. Ruby was one of several people there who spoke up to correct Wade, saying, "Henry, that's the fair play for Cuba Committee." Oh, there's a picture. A pro-Castro organization. Aha. November 24th, the murder of Oswald. On November 24th at 11:21 a.m., Oswald was being escorted by Dallas police detectives Jim Leavell and C. Graves through the police basement to an armored car that was to take Oswald to nearby county jail. Oh, I didn't look at the pictures. No, I don't think that's their pictures, though. Yeah, they're just showing Oswald, mostly. When Ruby, who was standing in a crowd of reporters, emerged with his revolver, aimed at Oswald's admin. Ruby passed by William Harrison, who saw the gun and began to reach his hand out. Detective Billy Comist described Ruby's facial expression as that of a determined look or grimace. Ruby shot Oswald at point-blank range, mortally wounding him. Comist exclaimed, "Jack, you son of a bitch." So they must have already known Jack. Anyways, immediately... Oh, that's great. I love that picture. Okay, I'm excited. That'll be a great picture to look at in a minute. Immediately after the shot was fired, Graves grabbed for Ruby's gun and Harrison grabbed Ruby's shoulder. As the armored car had rolled down the ramp at the moment, Ruby emerged and slightly hit Ruby's leg almost immediately after he fired. Oh, what there? Causing him to almost lose balance as he was immediately subdued by police. I get it now. It was just a scruffle. Ruby and Oswald were both taken into the basement level jail office. After Ruby was handcuffed and taken up in the elevator, Oswald was placed in an ambulance and driven to a Parkland Memorial Hospital. It looks like a game of Tetris. Anyways, the same hospital where President Kennedy had died 2 days earlier. Aww. At Parkland, surgeons subsequently determined Ruby's bullet had entered Oswald's left side and the front part of the abdomen and caused extensive damage to his spleen, stomach, aorta, vena cava, kidney, liver, diaphragm, and 11th rib before coming to rest on his right side. Oswald died at 1:07 p.m. So when did this originally start? What time did they say? 11:21. So from 11:21 to 1:07. That's really not that long. Reaction. A network television pool camera was broadcasting live to cover Oswald's transfer. Millions of people watching on NBC saw the shooting as it happened, and in a matter of minutes, it was on other networks. Several photographs were taken of the event, capturing the moments when Ruby pulled the trigger. In 1964, Robert H. Jackson, no picture, of the Dallas Times-Herald, was awarded the Pulitzer Prize for photography for an image titled "Jack Ruby Shoots Lee Harvey Oswald. Oh, that's the picture. Huh. Great indignation was directed towards Ruby's murder of Oswald. Many felt that the killing had robbed the nation of essential information and left key questions unanswered. I have so many. Former Vice President Richard Nixon, there he is, said Oswald was also entitled to a trial. Two wrongs don't make it right. Oswald's murder compounded suspicions that the Kennedy assassination was part of a larger plot. Agreed. I do believe it's part of so much more to it. Not all were shocked, however. The crowd outside the headquarters applauded when they heard that in the nation, Oswald was hated in death. And Ruby was viewed as a hero by some citizens. I can see that. They would think that he's a vigilante because he took out the guy that took out our president. During his time in jail, he received many letters from the public, often praising him for his actions. Prosecution. Oh, and look, routine versus state. Just in case you guys want to know. I really don't. I don't like looking at court documents all too much. It's a lot of redacted stuff usually anyways. Anyways, after his arrest, Ruby said that he had been distraught over President Kennedy's death, had wanted to help the city of Dallas redeem itself in the eyes of the public, and that he was saving Miss Kennedy, here she is, the discomfiture of coming back to trial. He also claimed that he shot Oswald on the spur of the moment when the opportunity presented itself, without considering any reason for doing so. Ruby said that he was the admirer of President Kennedy. Here he is. And the Kennedy family. That he cried when he heard that the president was shot. In mourning after. Cried a great deal Saturday afternoon and was depressed that night. The grief over the assassination, Ruby stated, finally reached the point of insanity, suddenly compelling him to shoot when Oswald walked in front of him in the basement that Sunday morning. At the time of the shooting, Ruby said he was taking phenmetrazine preludin. What is it? A stimulant drug, first synthesized in 1952 and was originally used as an appetite suppressant, but withdrawn from the market in the 1980s due to widespread misuse. It was initially replaced by analog. Okay, I don't care. A central nervous system stimulant. Oh, I guess if I would have. Oh, okay. Ruby also said that he entered the police basement by coming down the main street ramp. Later, Ruby expressed remorse to his brother Earl, saying he never wanted Oswald to die. Well, then why did you shoot him? Okay, well, anyways. Ruby asked Dallas attorney Tom Howard to represent him. Howard accepted and asked Ruby if he could think of anything that might damage his defense. Ruby responded that there would be a problem if a man by the name of Davis should show up. Ruby told his attorney that he had been involved with Davis, who was a gun runner entangled in anti-Castro efforts. You know, I'm probably going to learn about this anti-Castro stuff later, too. Anyways, Ruby's brother Earl replaced Howard with prominent San Francisco. Oh, it's a trolley. Oh, 2 trolleys in one video. That's awesome. Defense attorney Melvin Belly him pro bono. Pro bono usually is a Latin phrase for professional work undertaken voluntarily and without payment. The term traditionally referred to provision of legal services by legal professionals for people who are unable to afford them. Lawyer Joe H. Tannehill, no picture, also at his bond hearing in January of 1964, while talking to reporters, Ruby tearfully said regarding the assassination of Kennedy that he could not understand how a great man like that could be lost. It happens. And it's fucked up to say, but it really does. It just happens. There's just a lot of evil people out there, and until all the evil people are gone, shit like that's going to keep happening. There's no science to it. It's just fact. Anyways, Ruby testified that he thought he said, "You killed my president, you rat," as he shot Oswald. Officer McMillan testified he heard Ruby say, "You rat son of a bitch, you shot the president." This was disputed by footage showing McMillan looking in the opposite direction from the shooting. About killing Oswald 2 nights earlier to show the world that Jews have guts. So I'm assuming that Ruby was a Jew. Okay. Detective Don Archer said Ruby had told him he intended to shoot Oswald 3 times, and McMillan corroborated this. On March 14, 1964, Ruby was convicted of murder with malice and was sentenced to death. Ruby's conviction was overturned by the Texas Court of Criminal Appeals. Oh, I want to see the picture. Oh, there is none. On the grounds that an oral confession of premeditation made while in police custody should have been ruled inadmissible because it violated a Texas criminal statute. The court also ruled that the venue should have been changed to a Texas county other than the one in which the high-profile crime had been committed. Correct. I think they actually do that now. Like if it's a high-profile crime or there's kids or something involved, they really try to go. They will not go in that county because they know that it won't be a fair trial. So, anyways, during the 6 months following the Kennedy assassination, Ruby repeatedly asked to speak to the members of the Warren Commission. I'm going to have to look more into that later, too. Let me write that down. I have a notepad here, too, so I can write down ideas for future. I have a problem. So what is it called? Yeah, I have a Warren Commission. Okay. We're going to look into that later, too. Anyways, the commission initially showed no interest, but Ruby's sister, Eileen, wrote letters to the commission, and her letters became public. The commission finally agreed to talk to Ruby. In June of 1964, Chief Justice Earl Warren Representative and future President Gerald R. Ford, there he is, of Michigan, and other commission members went to Dallas to see Ruby. Ruby asked Warren several times to take him to Washington, D.C. That's not a very good picture of Washington, D.C. Anyways, saying that my life is in danger here and that he wanted an opportunity to make additional statements. He added that the people from whom he felt himself to be in danger were the John Birch Society, no picture, of Dallas, including Edwin Walker, who he claimed were trying to falsely implicate him as being involved in a conspiracy to assassinate the president. He added, "I want to tell the truth, and I can't tell it here." Warren told Ruby that he would be unable to comply with his request because many legal barriers would need to be overcome, and public interest in the situation would be too heavy. Warren also told Ruby that the commission would have no way of protecting him since it had no police powers. Ruby said that he wanted to convince President Lyndon Johnson, there he is, that he was not part of any conspiracy to kill Kennedy. Eventually, the appellate court agreed with Ruby's lawyers that he should be granted a new trial. On October 5th, 1966, the court ruled that his motion for change of venue before the original trial court should have been granted. Ruby's conviction and sentence were overturned. Arrangements were underway for a new trial to be held in February of 1967 in Wichita Falls, Texas. Ooh, that's a really great picture. But Ruby was admitted to Parkland Hospital. It looks like Tetris. On December 9, 1966, suffering from pneumonia, where he was diagnosed with cancer in his liver, lungs, and brain. Holy. His condition rapidly deteriorated. An armed guard was placed outside his room, but family and friends were allowed to visit. On December 16th, Earl Ruby, accompanied by one of his brother's lawyers, smuggled a tape recorder hidden in a briefcase into Jack's room to record an interview about his murder of Oswald. Ruby maintained that he entered the basement by coming down the ramp, had killed Oswald out of grief over the assassination, and denied knowing Oswald prior. According to an unnamed Associated Press source, Ruby made a final statement from his hospital bed on December 19th that he had acted alone. There's nothing to hide, Ruby said. There was no one else. Death. Oh, he was the coroner for him. Okay. Ruby died of a pulmonary embolism on January 3rd, 1967 at Parkland Hospital. He was buried alongside his parents in the Westland Cemetery, no picture, in Northridge, Illinois. Anyways, official investigations. The Warren Commission, which I wrote down. The Warren Commission found no evidence linking Ruby's killing of Oswald with any broader conspiracy to assassinate Kennedy, via Ruby's life and activities to help ascertain whether he was involved in a conspiracy to assassinate Kennedy. The commission also investigated rumors that Ruby and Oswald knew each other, or that Oswald was seen at the Carousel Club. Footage that showed Oswald glance briefly in Ruby's direction as he emerged to shoot him, thought by some to be a look of recognition, compounded such suspicion. Careful analysis of the footage indicate Oswald was looking at reporter Ike Papas. No picture? Well, why is it highlighted blue if there's nothing? Oh, there's no picture. Who had held his microphone out towards Oswald and asked, "Do you have anything to say in your defense?" They concluded that various witnesses lacked credibility and that there was no solid evidence linking the two men. The commission indicated that there was a significant link between Ruby and organized crime, and said he acted independently in killing Oswald. The Warren Commission testimony indicating Ruby entered the basement of the headquarters just as Oswald was being transferred, and that his shooting of Oswald was a spontaneous, unplanned act. Ruby drove into town with his pet Dachshund. Oh, it's a wiener dog. I'm going to say wiener dog. They're such funny little dogs. But anyways, but to send an emergency money order at the West End. Walked a half a block to the Dallas police headquarters, where he made his way into the basement. Warren Commission investigator David Beelan, no picture, said that his postal inspector Harry Holmes arrived unannounced at the Dallas police station on the morning that Ruby shot Oswald, and upon invitation by the investigators, questioned Oswald, delaying his transfer by half an hour. Phelan noted that had Ruby been part of a conspiracy, he would have been downtown 30 minutes earlier, when Oswald had been scheduled to be transferred. The commission accepted Ruby's claim that he entered the police basement via the Main Street ramp. Author Norman Mailer, he looks like an actor too, and others have questioned why Ruby would have left his beloved dog in his car if his killing of Oswald had been planned. That's true. He's not going to want anything bad to happen to his dog. I mean, it's November. Anyways, some of Ruby's friends, relatives, notably his brother Earl and sister Eva, and associates, supported the official conclusion that Ruby acted alone, maintaining that he was upset over President Kennedy's death, even crying on occasions and closing his clubs for 3 days as a mark of respect. They rejected conspiracy theorists' claims, saying that Ruby's connection with gangsters was minimal at most, and that he was not the sort of person who would be entrusted to be part of a conspiracy. That's funny. Dallas reporter Tony Zappi, who knew Ruby well, claimed that one would have to be crazy to entrust Ruby with anything as important as a high-level plot to kill Kennedy, since he couldn't keep a secret for 5 minutes. Jack, yet the worst fellow in the world to be part of a conspiracy, because he was plain talked too much. He and others described Ruby as the sort who enjoyed being the center of attention, trying to make friends with people and being more of a nuisance. Some writers, including former Los Angeles District Attorney Vincent Buglosi, dismissed Ruby's connections to organized crime as being highly minimal. It is very noteworthy that without exception, not one of these conspiracy theorists knew or had ever met Jack Ruby, without our even resorting to his family and roommate, all of whom think the suggestion of Ruby being connected to the mob is ridiculous. Those who knew him, unanimously, without exception, think the notion of his being connected to the Mafia and then killing Oswald for them is nothing short of laughable. Bill Alexander, who prosecuted Ruby for Oswald's murder, equally rejected any suggestions that Ruby was involved with organized crime, claiming that conspiracy theorists based it on the claim that A knew B and Ruby knew B back in 1950. So he must have known A, and that must be the link to the conspiracy. Ruby's brother Earl denied allegations that Jack was involved in racketeering at Chicago nightclubs. Really, though? And author Gerald Posner suggested in his book, Case Closed, Lee Harvey Oswald and the Assassination of JFK, that witnesses may have confused Ruby with Harry Rubenstein, a convicted Chicago felon. Zappi was also dismissive of mob ties and described Ruby as a born loser. Wow. Other investigations and dissenting theories. Many critics have not accepted the conclusions of the Warren Commission and have proposed several other theories, particularly regarding Ruby's role in Oswald's death. Oh, hey! I didn't even notice there was. I have been around. I've been having issues with live streams lately. Where have you been? I haven't seen you in a long time. And you know what? It did not ding to let me know. So I'm really glad that I pulled up my chat on my phone. I would have never known. Anyways, it says many critics have not accepted the conclusions of the Warren Commission and have proposed several other theories, particularly regarding Ruby's role in Oswald's death. And then you try to get a hold of me. How'd you try to get a hold of me? Was it on Discord? Oh, not good. There's no jobs. I did a video about that. They're lying about jobs out here. So anyways, how have you been? I'm going to keep on. Anyways, while I wait for you to tell me where you've been and what you've been up to, because I'm curious. It's been a while. Ruby's motive. So, the White House correspondent Seth Cantor, who was a passenger in Kennedy's motorcade, testified that he had visited Parkland Hospital after Kennedy was shot, and that he felt a tug on his coat as he entered the hospital at about 1:30 p.m. He turned around to see Jack Ruby, who called him by his first name and shook his hand. He said that he had become acquainted with Ruby while he was a reporter for the Dallas Times-Herald newspaper. According to Cantor, Ruby asked him if he thought that it would be a good idea for him to close his nightclubs for the next 3 nights because of the tragedy. And Cantor responded without thinking that doing so would be a good idea. Oh, okay. I'll get back on Discord. Well, not right now, but I will. I will. I will definitely get a hold of you on Discord. Although Wilma Tice testified that she saw Ruby at Parkland Hospital, claiming to have later recognized the picture, and that she saw a man who possibly may have been Cantor call him Jack. Ruby denied that he had been at Parkland Hospital and that the Warren Commission dismissed Cantor's testimony, saying that the encounter at Parkland Hospital would have to have taken place in a span of a few minutes before and after 1:30 p.m., as evidenced by telephone company records of calls made by both people. The commission also pointed to the contradictory witness testimony and to the lack of video confirmation of Ruby at the scene. The commission concluded that Cantor probably did not see Ruby at Parkland Hospital and may have been mistaken about the time and the place that he saw Ruby. In 1979, the House Select Committee on Assassinations, I don't have a good picture, re-examined Cantor's testimony and stated, the Warren Commission concluded that Cantor was mistaken about his Parkland encounter with Ruby, but the committee determined he probably was not. Cantor wrote in Who Was Jack Ruby? Yeah, that's what we're trying to get to the bottom of. Oh, hold on. Oh, yeah, it's been rough. It's been rough for me too. It's been pretty rough. Which is, yeah. You've been doing nothing but working. I've been trying to do nothing but YouTube. That's all I'm trying to do. And I keep getting stopped. Except for this streaming service. I really like this one. Anyways, the mob was Ruby's friend, and Ruby could well have been paying off an IOU the day he was used to kill Lee Harvey Oswald. Remember, I have been used for a purpose. The way Ruby expressed it to Chief Justice Warren at her June 7, 1964 session. It would not have been hard for the mob to maneuver Ruby through the ranks of a few negotiable police. Well, especially if he was having cahoots with police anyways. He was bumping elbows with police. We already seen that way in the beginning, too. He's a dirty guy. I don't care. The House Select Committee on Assassinations wrote in its 1979 final report, Ruby's shooting of Oswald was not a spontaneous act, and that it involved at least some premeditation. Similarly, the committee believed it was less likely that Ruby entered the police basement without assistance. I thought that too. How is he going to get into a police basement? Like, just some random guy just going down to the police basement. Anyways, even though the assistance may have been provided with no knowledge of Ruby's intentions. The committee was troubled by the apparently unlocked doors along the stairway route and the removal of security guards from the area of the garage near the stairway shortly before the shooting. There is also evidence that the Dallas Police Department withheld relevant information from the Warren Commission concerning Ruby's entry to the scene of the Oswald transfer. The HSCA suggested Ruby might have entered the basement via a stairway accessible from an alleyway next to the Dallas Municipal Building. Garrett C. Hallmark, manager of the police, the parking garage, I don't know where I got police from, said that Ruby talked on the phone at 3 p.m. on November 23rd to somebody called Ken. He was seeking confirmation of the scheduled time for Oswald's transfer, and he said, I'll be there. Later that evening, waitress Wanda Helmick at Bullpen Drive-In Restaurant in Arlington, Texas, which was operated by Ralph Paul, a close friend and business associate of Ruby, said that Ruby rang Paul and that she overheard that Paul said something about a gun, and he asked Ruby if he were crazy. Of course he was crazy. You already know that too. Lieutenant Billy Grammer, a dispatcher for the Dallas Police Department, claimed that he received an anonymous phone call at 3 a.m. on November 24th from a man who told him that he knew of the plan to move Oswald from the basement and warned that unless the plan were changed, we are going to kill him. Hold on. I'll let you be. I'll be in Discord. We got to catch up. I may be able to help you. Well, thank you. I appreciate you so much, VHS. I'm so sorry I haven't talked to you in a long time. I've been in my own little hole. I'm trying to come out of my hole. I'm working on it. Lieutenant Billy Grammer. Wait, didn't we already just read this? We did. After Oswald was shot, Grammer claimed to have recognized Ruby as the caller and expressed belief that Ruby's shooting of Oswald was a planned event. In a declassified FBI memo written by J. Edgar Hoover from the day of Oswald's shooting, he reported that the night before Oswald's death, the FBI in Dallas received a call from a man talking in a calm voice and saying he was a member of a committee organized to kill Oswald. The FBI called the chief of Dallas police both at that time and the morning after to ensure Oswald would be kept safe. Hoover adds that, however, that was not done. Some critics point to eyewitness testimony, which seemed to contradict the official claim that Ruby was at home until 10:30 a.m. on November 24th, and instead seemed to indicate that Ruby was around police headquarters asking about Oswald's transfer all morning. Ruby's roommate, George Senator. Oh, okay, hold on. We already talked about that. However, Eleonora Pitts, Ruby's cleaning lady, phoned between 8:30 and 9 a.m. to check if it was all right for her to do her usual Sunday morning cleaning for Ruby, which she had been doing for several weeks. The man who answered claimed to be Ruby, but did not sound like him, did not recognize Pitts, and had no knowledge of the Sunday cleaning arrangements that she had with Ruby. Johnny Smith of WBAP TV was in a TV truck outside the headquarters that morning, and he said that he saw a man twice between 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. The man came to the truck to inquire about Oswald's transfer. Smith said that he recognized the man as Ruby from a picture in the paper, although he said he could not recognize him from a mugshot. WBAP cameraman Ira Walker testified that a man came up to his TV truck at just after 10:30 a.m. and inquired about Oswald's transfer. He identified the man as Ruby, as did Warren Ritchie, who was on top of the truck with his camera. In his Warren Commission testimony, Detective Don Archer claimed that after his arrest, Ruby looked him straight in the eye and said, "Well, I intended to shoot him 3 times." Cantor wrote that Ruby's response to Archer did implied having prior intention. On another occasion, Archer also said that Ruby was agitated and sweating, but when Archer informed Ruby that Oswald had died, he became calm, and that this struck him as a complete difference in behavior from what I expected, leading him to believe that his life had depended on his getting Oswald. Ruby's explanation for killing Oswald would be exposed as a fabricated legal ploy, according to the House Select Committee on Assassinations. Ruby wrote a note to Attorney Joseph Tannehill. "Joe, you should know this. My first lawyer, Tom Howard, told me to say that I shot Oswald so that Caroline and Miss Kennedy wouldn't have to come to Dallas to testify, okay?" G. Robert Blakey, who was chief counsel for the House Select Committee on Assassinations from 1977 to 1979, said, "The most plausible explanation for the murder of Oswald by Jack Ruby was that Ruby had stalked him on behalf of organized crime, trying to reach him on at least 3 occasions in the 48 hours before he silenced him forever." Russell Moore, an acquaintance of Ruby, testified to the commission that Ruby expressed no bitterness towards Oswald and called him a good-looking guy, comparing him to the actor Paul Newman. I don't think he looks like him. Anyways, announcer Glenn Duncan also said Ruby described Oswald as a fairly nice-looking kid, comparing him to Newman. They repeated it. Anyways, David Sheen writes that while some describe Ruby as upset over the weekend, TV newsman Vic Robertson Jr. saw Ruby at police headquarters on Friday night and said that he appeared to be anything but under stress or strain. He seemed happy, jovial, was joking and laughing. Duncan also said that Ruby was not grieving and seemed happy that evidence was piling up against Oswald. Also suggests that Ruby made a candid confession when giving testimony to the Warren Commission. During his testimony, Ruby teared up when talking about a Saturday morning eulogy for Kennedy, but after composing himself, inexplicably said, "I must be a great actor, I tell you that." Ruby also remarked that they didn't ask me another question. If I loved the president so much, why wasn't I at the parade? Referring to the presidential motorcade. And it's strange that perhaps I didn't vote for President Kennedy, or didn't vote at all, that I should build up such a great affection for him. Ruby's club stripper, Jada, during an interview with ABC's Paul Good, said that, "I believe Ruby disliked Bobby Kennedy." There's Bobby Kennedy. Shame also noted some who knew Ruby, who stated that the patriotic statements which Ruby professed were quite out of character. Ruby's gambling business partner, Harry Hall, said Ruby was the type who was interested in any way to make money. And he also said that he could not conceive of Ruby doing anything out of patriotism. Jack Kelly had known Ruby since 1943, and he scoffed at the idea of a patriotic motive and felt that Ruby would have killed Oswald for publicity or for money. Ruby's friend Paul Jones also said that he doubted that Ruby would have become emotionally upset and killed Oswald on the spur of the moment. He felt Ruby would have done it for the money. See? Ruby's lawyers, led by Sam Houston Clinton, no picture, appealed to the Texas Court of Criminal Appeals after his 1964 conviction, the highest criminal court in Texas. Ruby's lawyers argued that he could not have received a fair trial in Dallas because of the excessive publicity surrounding the case. In an interview with reporters in March 1965, Ruby stated everything pertaining to what's happening has never come to know the true values of what occurred, my motive. The people who had so much to gain and had such an ulterior motive for putting me in the position that I'm in will never let true facts come above board to the world. A reporter asked, "Are these people in very high positions, Jack?" He responded, "Yes." Cantor speculated in 1978 that the Davis that Ruby mentioned to Tom Howard may have been Thomas Eli Davis III. There's no page. It says page does not exist. A CIA-connected mercenary. Dallas Deputy Sheriff Al Maddox claimed, "Ruby told me," he said, "well, they injected me for a cold. He said it was cancer cells. That's what he told me," Ruby did. "I said, you don't believe that bullshit." He said, "I damn sure do." One day when I started to leave, Ruby shook hands with me and I could feel a piece of paper in his palm. It was a note in which Ruby claimed that he was part of a conspiracy and that his role was to silence Oswald. Not long before Ruby died, according to an article in the London Sunday Times, he told psychiatrist Werner Tauter that the assassination was an act of overthrowing the government and that he knew who had President Kennedy killed. That doesn't make sense. Who had President Kennedy killed? President Kennedy didn't kill anybody. You mean, who killed President Kennedy? Anyways, he added, "I am doomed. I do not want to die. But I am not insane. I was framed to kill Oswald." On March 11, 1959, FBI agent Charles W. Flynn of the Dallas office approached Ruby to become a federal informant due to his job as a nightclub operator, since he might have knowledge of the criminal element in Dallas. Ruby was willing to become an informant and was contacted by the FBI 8 times between March 11, 1959 and October 2nd, 1959, but he provided no information to the Bureau and he was not paid and contact ceased. Sheem theorized that Mafia leaders Carlos Marcello and Santo Traficante Jr. and organized labor leader Jimmy Hoffa, yeah, we're going to be doing a Jimmy Hoffa video too, FYI, ordered the assassination of Kennedy. Sheem cited in particular a 25-fold increase in the number of out-of-state telephone calls from Jack Ruby to associates of these crime bosses in the months before the assassination. According to author Vincent Bugliosi, both the Warren Commission and the House Select Committee on Assassinations determined that all of these calls were related to Ruby seeking help from the American Guild of Variety Artists. No picture. In a matter concerning 2 of his competitors. The House Select Committee on Assassinations report stated that most of Ruby's phone calls during late 1963 were related to his labor troubles. In the light of the identity of some of the individuals with whom Ruby spoke, I lost my spot. However, the possibility of other matters being discussed could not be dismissed. I can't believe we're still going. Hold on. Oh, wow. Okay. We're still going. Bill Bonanno. It's a horse. Shows me a picture of a horse. I like it, though. Son of New York Mafia boss Joseph Bonanno. I like the picture of the horse better. Stated and bound by honesty, he realized that certain Mafia families were involved in the JFK assassination when Ruby killed Oswald. Since Bonanno was aware that Ruby was the associate of Chicago mobster Sam Giancana. He looks slick, though. I like his little hat. Anyways, associations with organized crime and gun running allegations. Some conspiracy theorists have suggested Ruby had links to organized crime. The House Select Committee on Assassinations undertook a similar investigation of Ruby in 1979, 15 years after the written report, and said that he had a significant number of associations and direct and indirect contacts with underworld figures and the Dallas criminal element, but that he was not a member of organized crime. In a memo dated to the day of Oswald's murder, J. Edgar Hoover, director of the FBI, wrote that we have no information on Ruby that is firm, although there are some rumors of underworld activity in Chicago. Ruby was said to have been acquainted with the Mafia. The HSCA said that Ruby had known Chicago mobster Sam Giancana and Joseph Campsey. Oh, there's no picture. Since 1947, and had been seen with them on many occasions. After an investigation of Joe Campsey, the HSCA found, while Campsey's technical characterization and federal law enforcement records as an organized crime member has ranged from definite to suspected to negative, it is clear that he was an associate or friend of many Dallas-based organized crime members, particularly Joseph Civello. No picture. During the time, he was the head of the Dallas organization. There were no indication that Campsey had engaged in any specific organized crime-related activities. G. Robert Blakey, oh, we already seen this guy, the chief counsel of the HSCA, called Campsey the number 2 man in the mob in Dallas. He wrote in a 1993 article for the Washington Post, "It is difficult to dispute the underworld pedigree of Jack Ruby, though the Warren Commission did it in 1964. Similarly, a PBS Frontline investigation into the connections between Ruby and Dallas organized crime figures reported the following. In 1963, Sam and Joe Campsey were leading figures in the Dallas underworld. Jack knew the Campseys and had been dealing with them on many occasions. The Campseys were lieutenants of Carlos Marcello, the Mafia boss who had reportedly talked of killing the president." Hold up, I didn't ever hear about that. Okay. On the night before Kennedy was assassinated, Ruby and Ralph Paul had dinner together at the Egyptian Lounge. No picture. Run by Joe and Sam Campsey. After Ruby was jailed for killing Oswald, Joe Campsey regularly visited him. Howard P. Willens was the third highest official in the Department of Justice, an assistant counsel to J. Lee Rankin. He helped organize the Warren Commission. Willens also outlined the commission's investigative priorities and terminated an investigation of Ruby's Cuban-related activities. An FBI report states that Willens' father had been Tony Accardo's. He looks like Robert De Niro, too. Next-door neighbor going back to 1958. In 1946, Tony Accardo allegedly asked Jack Ruby to go to Texas with Mafia associates Pat Mano and Romy Nappy to make sure that Dallas County Sheriff Steve Guthrie would acquiesce to the Mafia's expansion into Dallas. Hold on. Ruby went to see a man named Louis McWillie in Cuba 4 years before the assassination. McWillie had previously run illegal gambling establishments in Texas. And Ruby considered him one of his closest friends. McWillie was supervising gambling activities at Havana's Tropicana Club. There's Havana. Tropicana Club. Oh, that's cool. Hey, isn't that like what is in the movie The Mask. Just wondering. I get so sidetracked so easy. When Ruby visited him in August 1959. Ruby told the Warren Commission that his August trip to Cuba was merely a social visit at the invitation of McWillie. The HBA later concluded that Ruby most likely was serving as a courier for gambling interests. The committee also found circumstantial but not conclusive evidence that Ruby met with Santo Traficante Jr., there's that guy again, in Cuba. James E. Beard, who claimed to be a poker player friend of Ruby, told the Dallas Morning News and the FBI that Ruby smuggled guns and ammunition from Galveston Bay. There's no picture. Huh. Anyways, access to Fidel Castro's guerrillas in Cuba in the late 1950s. Beard said that Ruby wasn't in it for the money. It wouldn't matter which side, just the one that would pay him the most. Beard said that the guns were stored in a 2-story house near the waterfront, and that he saw Ruby and his associates load many boxes of new guns, including automatic rifles and handguns, on a 50-foot military surplus boat. He claimed that each time that the boat left with guns and ammunition, Jack Ruby was on the boat. Alternatively, some conspiracy theorists have focused on Ruby's connections to the police in regards to his murder of Oswald and dismissed his mob connections as a misdirection. You know, I wouldn't even be surprised. So that was only the first part. That was only the first part. So I am assuming we kind of already went over some of the official story and the conspiracy theory. Let's click and see what this says. Kind of curious now. Okay. The official story about Jack Ruby is a shot Lee Harvey Oswald in Dallas Police Headquarters on November 24th, 1963, in retaliation for the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. Ruby was convicted and sentenced to death, but his sentence was overturned on appeal. He died of lung cancer in 1967. I still can't believe they did on television. Hold on. What's the conspiracy theory? Oh, I already went into it because look, I clicked it and it's purple. So Jack Ruby's final words, which we kind of already went over, but we kind of skipped a bunch because it did talk about his mafia ties, the CIA connections, and the Warren Commission. So his final words were, "There's nothing to hide. There was no one else." He said this from his hospital bed on December 19th, 1966. So it says Ruby died from cancer on January 3rd, 1967. His family and lawyers believed he was psychotic, both during his trial and until his death. Wow. So, what, if any, theories do you guys have about Jack Ruby? Do you think that he acted alone, or was he part of something bigger? Anyways, on that note, there's nobody in the room with me. Trying to think. I've been recording for what, an hour and a half now? This was an hour and a half. I am so sorry. You guys know I don't like to do things that bad to you. But this was very interesting. I learned a lot. I'm going to learn even more because I'm going to be looking into the Warren Commission as well. We are going to do a JFK video. I'm just waiting for them to drop more information regarding that. And let's see, I'm trying to think. What was my next video going to be? Holy smokes, how did I forget already? Well, I don't remember. Oh, oh no, I'm tangled. that's right. That's right. I don't know how I forgot that. Anyways. Hold on, let me see if I can't find a picture. We'll kind of end like that. Find a picture of him. Yeah, and here he is. This guy. And he was here shooting Oswald. There's some more pictures. Wait a minute. They said the video was out there, right? I want to see the video. I don't want to see the, I don't know, words. I want to see the video of him. Let's see. Juror number 10. He was over. Trial. Okay, hold on. Come on. Jack Ruby television shooting. Because I'm just curious. I want to see this video. Yeah, we kind of went over everything else. We kind of went over the official story. That was a very deep dive on Wikipedia. I'm very shocked. Usually I have to go a lot of places to get all the information, but I kind of got it all right there. We talked about his conspiracy, like Mafia ties, suppose of his final words, and what you guys think. And did I miss something? If I did, please let me know. I like to learn. I'm still waiting for it to load. And we're gonna wrap this up after this. I just want to watch this video. It says interview. That's not what I wanted. I didn't want an interview. I wanted to see the actual. I know it's kind of sadistic, but it is what it is. If it's out there, I want to watch it. Jack shooting Lee Harvey Oswald on television. Oh wait, here. This is the full one. Oh, it's on the History Channel. It's unresponsive. Exit. Should have went for the YouTube video anyways. I knew better. Page unresponsive. Can I wait? I don't think it's going to. Well, anyways, I don't think it's going to go back. I don't think we're going to get to watch the video. Everything I clicked didn't work. So, there it is. Okay. Yeah, here's all my comments.